Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, coming to you from the beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
The podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
Coming up on today's episode, we're gonna get into well, maybe we'll keep it as a surprise.
We're going to do a thought experiment.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
I have proposed for us a thought experiment. We'll see.
And we'll be working through that after we do all of our normal stuff up front.
Right.
Well, Dan, welcome back.
Thanks. Hey, everybody. Did you miss me? I'll bet you did, although Adam was great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
Adam does a good job. I like having Adam on.
He's a sweet feller.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Although all that Taoism mumbo jumbo didn't sit too good with me.
Yeah.
I don't go in for that nonsense.
Yeah, you're wise.
It's Jesus or nothing. And I choose nothing.
Ex Jesus or nothing.
It's either your ex Jesus or your ex nothing.
Well, Dan.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Schindler's List?
The list or the movie?
Actually, the list.
Well, yes, I am from the movie.
Oh, okay.
I'm familiar with the list because I watched the movie.
Well, there's another way that you could familiarize yourself with it right now.
Oh, I'm so excited.
If you were willing to cough up $3 million on eBay, you could actually own the original Schindler's List. I'm looking at the eBay page right now.
Oh, my God.
There are... Let me update the page just to see if there have been any bids since I last looked at it. Right now, it's holding at 0 bids.
Okay, holding firm at 0 bids.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what?
I don't know what just happened.
Did you just bid? You just bid on it.
I now own the Schindler's List.
They are going to be mad
the page,
when they find out you can't
I wasn't
pay.
able to update it for some reason.
Oh, okay.
It said that the page is not available.
Well,
And I think that's mainly... I'm having some problems connecting to the internet, so I don't think it's eBay at all. But anyways, there's just over 2 days left.
Oh.
Or about 2 days and 7 hours left on the bidding, but there are 0 bids currently.
So for some of our listeners, this will have ended by the time you hear this.
Yes, sadly.
And you know what? What's awful is
will
that
not be available for you.
according
to
Ben Kingsley, the list is life.
that's true. Actually, yeah.
So you could buy you some life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they're all dead now.
Yeah. So what are you saying? A lot of good the list did?
Well, no, I'm just saying, a lot of good it'll do you now.
You're going to die eventually. Is that your argument here against the list?
I don't know.
I don't think that's a sound.
You're not into the philosophy.
Piece of history, though. Yeah, no. But they have actually, if you are able, I mean, eBay keeps up stuff like this even after it goes down, if I remember right.
Completed listings.
So
you want to look under completed listings.
I don't know if there's other places online where you can actually see all the pages, but all the pages are scanned in and you can look at them all, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like the list did in the movie.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, they did their homework.
They better have.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't famous before, so they probably had access to it. They probably could go and check it out and stuff.
It's possible.
Well, that
$3 million though, Dan.
$3 million.
million.
I think you mean only $3 million. Only $3 million, and you can own Schindler's List. Does it come with a copy of the DVD, or it should come with the Blu-ray? You should get the list and the Blu-ray of the movie.
Well, you should get lunch with somebody.
You should. Yeah, exactly. You should. It should be $3 million. No, I'm going to say this: $3.1 million. $3 million gets you just the list. 3.1 that gets you the list, the Blu-ray, and lunch with Steven Spielberg.
Well, Steven Spielberg isn't selling it. He's not involved in this.
I know.
In any way,
That's why it costs so much more. He's not involved.
Oh, so you have to pay.
You have to pay a damned lot.
You have to pay the fees to get him there.
To get
that's
to get
true.
lunch with him. This is how they should have worked it.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh well, so yeah, you could own a piece of of horrible, horrible history. Or actually uplifting.
This is an
uplifting
good,
history in the midst of horrible, horrible doings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Schindler's List.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Right.
it's a beautiful thing.
That's what I get out of it.
Oh, my brain goes to bad places.
I cried all the way through
The movie?
Yeah.
I cried at the end of the movie.
When they put the stones on the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I cried when
all the way through that.
when everybody was like when they were pulling their teeth out to get the gold.
That's the point.
That's where you just
Well, but no, the moment that you really cry is when he looks at his ring
and says there's
and
so many. How
like,
many could this have
how many,
saved? Yeah.
And then just like,
and then it just wrecks you. You're crying for days.
And then he gets in a car and drives off.
And he's fine.
Well, initially though, wasn't he picked up like? Oh,
I don't know.
Else. Because this doesn't keep going.
Well, that is an uplifting story about how you can buy a piece of heartwarming history on the internet.
Hey, I'm just bringing the best of the news. This wasn't a news story. This was just something that I stumbled upon.
You just found it on YouTube?
I was told about it.
Wow.
By somebody who knows somebody who works at eBay.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm just surprised we haven't seen it on the news. You heard it here first,
you
folks.
You would think. I haven't seen it anywhere.
We're breaking the news.
We're breaking the story. And by
this
the
just
time
in.
we're done breaking it, it'll be over.
Yeah, well, we're like that. That's kind of how we do. We're not exactly investigative journalists here.
Dear God, no.
Although we did go to Waco.
Our digging
and
around
did nothing.
Yeah, our digging around usually involves, and that wasn't really investigative or anything, but yeah, our digging around involves going to blogs that we know have lots of information about this week's religious news.
We're less reporters and more re-reporters.
We're regurgitators.
We're commentators. That's what we are.
Ooh, we commentate.
We commentate.
Mm-hmm.
We comment is really how it should be.
No, we commentate. If you're a commentator, wouldn't you commentate?
According to Webster now, yes, commentate is a word, but I object to that word.
How did I know I would be able to lure you into that?
It's a living language. I have to tell myself it's a living language. We invent new words. This is not France. The government does not decide what is and isn't a word.
Yeah, thank God.
Right.
You wouldn't want to live in that kind of tight word regime. I mean, I guess it's democratic because it is Parliament that decides.
Right. And, I'm sure you can petition for a word if you really need to.
It really feels a little stifling, though.
Yeah.
Linguistically stifling.
And it's not like you're going to be arrested for using a non-word word. But
what about printing? I mean,
I don't even know what it means. Like, I think the main thing is that, like, it makes a dictionary writer's job easier. I don't know.
You just consult Parliament.
Yeah, exactly. What are words this year?
These are the 7 new words we'd like to introduce to the French language this year.
And we're taking this one out. This one got rejected on review.
Because we sensed that it might have actually come from English. The root of this word seems very un-French to us.
We're very suspicious. I don't think we can allow Cocoa Puffs as a word in the French language.
Now, brands are different.
Yeah,
they're fine with brands.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was sent in to us. This is a news item that was sent in to us by our friend Brett, whom we met
Brett.
at the Passion Play.
Yeah,
you remember
Eureka
him?
Springs.
Yeah.
Had dinner with him and
Jenny.
And Jenny, that's right.
His lovely wife?
I thought girlfriend.
Companion. His lovely companion.
I don't know,
Jenny.
No, maybe they were a married couple.
I think they were married.
I'm forgetting.
Oh, no, whatever their relationship, they are partners. They are lovely. She smuggled booze into the Passion Play for us in her purse. There seemed to be an understanding of how the world works between us all. Anyway, he sent us in a lovely piece about. I don't know if we've talked about him before.
Who?
In Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard University has a humanist chaplain named Greg Epstein.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No.
So he's a
Keep
chaplain. He's a chaplain there. It's all sort of official and stuff, but he ain't got no God.
Oh.
Which
Yeah, that's weird.
That has ruffled a feather or two.
That doesn't jive with what I know
about chaplaining.
Yeah, exactly.
The job of chaplaining. No, so yeah, what we got is people all over the country. Really, this is specifically about the about Massachusetts, and they've got apparently a decent setup there. Little walk-in sort of place. They want to eventually make it a community center and stuff. Yeah. But, we've talked about Alain de Botton. I still don't know how to say his name.
Alain de Botton. You said it correct.
Right.
Absolutely
Exactly.
correct.
Argle Bargle, I think, is how he says it in his native Swiss. So he's got his thing that's going to be happening in London. We heard when we were in Houston about an atheist church there called, I believe, Oasis.
That's correct. Yeah.
And so this is a thing that's happening all over the country. They involve some ritual.
Right.
Largely, though, it's just and
it's an interesting thing because I go back and forth on it, right? Because I get that it's, from an atheist perspective, it's kind of problematic in that we have left religion
and we don't have a defining central philosophy or whatever.
Right. But at the same time, I recognize people's need for ritual and community. And so,
this is stuff we'll be discussing later on.
About this later.
I do want to mention, though, that what jumped directly to my mind with the thought of an atheist church was that everybody would show up, sit down. So a pastor would get up in front of everyone and say, "Thank you all for coming. Today's sermon is, nope, still no God. All right, see you next week, everybody."
Yeah.
And there we go.
It's I get it.
Yeah.
What? I mean, but then at the same time, there are good, inspirational messages and some.
Absolutely. Well, and I think I've said this before, but I used to not attend as a patron or as a practitioner of the belief, but I used to go to the Unitarian Universalist Church every now and then.
On 13th? Okay.
Because my ex-wife actually was a singer in their choir. She was a paid singer. She was a ringer.
Oh, really?
A ringer singer, if you will.
Whoa.
But so I'd go every now and then, and I really enjoyed, first of all, Unitarian Universalists, not too Jesus-y.
No.
They're not going to get hyper Jesus-y on you.
Not at all.
They might actually extract the word Jesus from a song just so that they can sing it.
Right. So as to not bother anybody in the congregation.
Right. We don't want to force it. You can believe in Jesus, but we don't really want to push that.
That's your personal decision.
You go down your road. You go down your road.
That's not what we're doing.
It's not the collective thing.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I used to he would invoke Thoreau and he would invoke, all of these other sort of poets and that was great.
It sounds
It was
awful.
actually really oh yeah.
It sounds miserable.
Yeah. No, he had some very lovely things to say.
Huh, interesting. Well, cool.
So there you go.
Yeah,
Thanks for sending that in, Brad.
It's getting churchy.
Mm-hmm.
Getting
churchy.
Interesting. All right. Are you familiar with Comic Con, Dan?
Am I?
Comic
I go
Con?
every year.
We're getting one this year. Salt Lake has a Comic Con.
Salt Lake Comic Con. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I know Davis County
first ever.
Davis County's had a couple of little guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one Shatner is showing up for this one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and like one of the guys who played some kind of Conan on TV or something is coming too.
Oh, that's amazing.
And some spacey show people are going to be there, as well as some fantasy show people.
I kind of want to go and then go in costume, but get everything about my costume wrong. Just go in a Star Trek costume, but wear the wrong shirt with the wrong pants.
Klingon head with
or
with
whatever
something from
get it
Xena.
completely wrong. I don't really care, but I think I'm
those two
fitting
actually
in.
kind of match a little bit.
Xena and Klingons?
Klingons kind of dress like Xena, the Princess Warrior.
Yeah, sure. Warrior Princess?
Is that what it is?
I don't care. I don't know. Yeah,
you care. Actually,
the only reason I know that is because my sister
you
used to love that show. And my dad used to love that show. As a matter of fact, it used to be part of my sister's email address.
And she grew up to be a lesbian?
I don't know about I don't know that we can make a correlation is not causation.
No. I'm saying
yeah.
The evidence was there.
Oh, it was clear. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone when that girl came out.
Really?
Well, my parents.
Yeah, your parents.
But they're old and they didn't know.
I love that they would watch Xena together.
Oh,
that's cool.
For and largely for the same reasons, I think. Mutual crushes on the same women,
really?
etc. Like my dad and my sister probably both into the same.
That's amazing. So anyway, so Dan ends up knowing a little too much about Xena. All right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently, this kind of, I didn't expect this because I've never been to a Comic-Con. I mean, what do I know of Comic-Con?
You're nerdy enough to go to a Comic-Con.
Really? I'm self-respecting enough to not go.
Although, if I start to ask you questions about Star Trek Next Generation versus Star Trek the original, you're gonna be able to answer those.
I'll know the answers. Yeah. Yeah. I do not deny the fact that I owned the technical schematics to the Star Trek Enterprise when I was a teenager. It's totally true. But nonetheless, I never would have expected that there would be the same kind of street preachers out in front of Comic-Con as there are like its General Conference.
General Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Wow. Who's coming out?
The same sorts of evangelical-y types. They're out there with signs that say things like, "The blood of Jesus cleanses sin." What that has to do with Comic-Con? I don't know. But some of them get a little bit more clever with things like, "Don't be Comic-Conned. Your life is not fiction."
Thanks for that. I live in real life. Thanks, street preacher.
And so I was just kind of blown away that these street preachers do the exact same thing. They get all, combative and telling people that, they're going to hell. And it really got me thinking about this whole idea of street preaching.
Like, what are you doing?
You go to where you have the most, the most, these are the people who are, they really want to be there. The people showing up to Comic-Con, I mean, these are big time nerds.
Yeah.
They don't want you there. You're getting in the way. Right? That's not what they're there for. They may be evangelical.
Yeah, for all we know, they're totally religious.
They might be total believers.
There's nothing non-religious about enjoying a show or liking a comic book.
Standing there, especially at this place, and being a protester of it, a religious protester of it, it just doesn't make any sense. It's not like the whole crowd believes that in the wrong Jesus. Right.
Right. Like going to Mormon General Conference, you know that everybody there has this belief that you think is bullshit.
Yeah. Now, I guess they're not there. I mean, they're there for the ones that don't believe. Obviously.
Right. Yeah, but what? How do they know? They don't. They just don't know. You know what? I'm
making a big assumption.
Yeah. Well, it just makes me think that their sign should be, "My obsession is more real than your obsession."
Well, yeah, somebody should just have the Jesus comic book.
Yeah.
Give it to them and be like, hey,
That's what they should be printing up, Jesus comic books.
They should be
doing.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way to get everybody.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Lazarus. he did superhero.
He was
stuff.
Totally a superhero.
Yeah.
He could fly and stuff.
Did he fly?
I don't know.
I don't think he flew.
He didn't fly. But he walked on water. That's a good trick.
If you were a superhero and that was your power, that's pretty good.
That's a pretty good one. Turning water into wine. That is
trick.
An awesome superpower.
If you can do that,
you are a hit at parties, if nothing else.
Yeah. Do not hide that light under a bushel, my friend.
Hide it in my glass.
Yeah.
Thank you. What if it was just shitty wine? What if his deal was that he could turn water into wine, but it was awful? He turns water into like
Some kind of
Boone's
rosé.
Farm. Like
It's white Zinfandel.
it's blue. It's
Well, that's not wine. That's a malt beverage in the bottle that's shaped like it's.
I'm pretty sure Boone's considers it wine. I don't know.
Do they?
I don't know.
All I know is that Cameron, at like one of my birthday parties years ago, when I was way gone at this point, shows up with a bottle of Boone's Farm. Is like, this is for you, and I'd never even like seen the stuff before, and I'm like, yeah, look.
Did you vomit purple
I don't even know what happened
after that?
night. Yeah.
For the rest of the week, you were out.
Yeah, but anyways, like some of these signs, like first of all, they're showing up, and like here's a sign I just found. It's railing against homosexuals
At Comic-Con?
at Comic-Con.
I'm trying to think what big gay characters Comic-Con people would be into.
Well, maybe a lot of gay people show up to Comic-Con. Maybe that's what they think.
Well, maybe, but why?
Oh.
None of this makes any sense. I went and sort of protested the protesters at General Conference.
Right.
Now I want to go and make fun of these guys.
Should. Yeah.
Because, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're getting a Comic-Con.
They worship false idols.
I mean, I think it's just in a couple of weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's coming up.
We should cover it.
Totally coming up.
So-
Comic-Con.
Somebody send us some donation money earmarked to get us into Comic-Con.
I think we can get into Comic-Con.
I'm just,
Anyways.
I don't know how much money we have in the old coffers now, in the old TGIA coffers.
Probably doing okay.
Anyway, that's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Comic-Con.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about a thing, and you're gonna guess where I'm talking about.
Ooh, I love these games.
Yes, so there's some infighting between two major religions.
Okay.
In this place. It it involves lately a bomb blowing up.
A bomb?
A bomb blowing up.
Okay.
Tensions are high. One of these religions is now one of the outspoken radical leaders of one of these religions is now calling for and is succeeding in getting businesses to shun people from the other religion.
What?
Getting followers to not go to businesses owned by the other religion.
Oh my God.
So this other religion. This leader, this radical leader, is the leader of the largest religion, and they're really sort of trying to shut out the underprivileged religion.
Okay.
Where are we?
Where?
Who are the players?
I'm going to say Kashmir.
And the players that you're thinking of are what, Hindus and Muslims?
Oh, yeah. Okay. What is it?
Myanmar.
And
the radicals?
Burma. Is that Burma?
Yes.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And the radicals that we're talking about that are really being assholes? The Buddhists.
Buddhists aren't assholes. I know this for a fact.
We all know that Buddhists are all nice people who do only nice things. Well, as it turns
Actually,
out...
I've known too many Buddhists in my life to say that.
Well, boy, you don't know asshole Buddhists until you know Myanmar asshole Buddhists.
Okay.
And the people that they're trying that they're really against are the Muslims.
Oh.
The Muslims are a lesser religion in Myanmar, in Buddhism, in Burma. And yeah, they're literally trying to prevent Muslim men from marrying Buddhist women.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
but legally trying to prevent. They're trying to make a law about it.
I'm okay with that too.
No, it's awful. I mean, they're literally so yeah. This bomb has now been blamed on Muslims as a response to all of this Buddhist terror. There was actually Time Magazine's Asia edition actually had the headline, like front page cover, that said "The Face of Buddhist Terror: How Militant Monks Are Fueling Anti-Muslim Violence in Asia."
Wow.
This shit's going down hard over
Militant monks.
The Buddhists are crazy. They've turned into just religious people.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you become a religion,
Then you're
likely to become religious.
This is what happens, folks. You take a bunch of philosophy, and then as soon as you turn it into a religion, everybody gets violent.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be
take
bad.
any philosophy if you get too crazy about it.
Yeah. There's one guy, this main dude, this radical Buddhist monk. What's his name? His name starts with a W. I've got it here somewhere.
Dude is an interesting way to refer to.
Wirathu.
Riwathu?
Mm-hmm.
Riwathu.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that for my firstborn.
I'm going to go to Comic-Con as Wirathu.
Riwathu. Behold, I am Riwathu.
I am Wirathu, and you must do as I say. Wow. And yeah, he's started a movement that he calls the 969 movement, which I don't know what that's a reference to. He's had 969s in his life, and he really enjoyed them. I don't know.
Or some 96s, and that's just kind of...
Which is the Buddhist thing.
Yeah.
You'd face away from each other. You sort of spoon outwardly. It doesn't work at all.
It was how a lot of threesomes end up going.
Oh.
It was a nines...
yeah, anyway. Or maybe it's 969 as in 69, and then it's the German 9!
969.
969. Anywho,
that's weird.
So apparently, like literally, storekeepers are putting the 969 logo up in their window so that people will know that it's not Muslim owned and it's safe to go and shop there.
Oh, good. Good.
Isn't that nice?
That is nice. Good for them.
Dicks, bunch of dicks over there.
Yeah. Well, Thank you for that perspective on world events, Dan.
And now here's Dan
In-depth
with
analysis.
in-depth analysis on Myanmar. Bunch of dicks. I don't want to go there. A bunch of dicks over there.
Well, I don't think you'd want to go there anyways.
You got Buddhist,
right now,
Buddhist dicks. You got Muslim dicks.
If Myanmar was on your top 10 tourist destinations,
travel spots include,
you may want to avoid
Yeah.
sunny Myanmar just for a minute.
Yeah, so there you go. Buddhism, not as nice as you might have thought.
Well, I've got some news of a church being nice.
Oh, it's always nice when a church is nice.
Yeah, the Church of England.
The C of E.
Yeah.
Our friends over at the C of E.
They want to oust loan sharks from the UK, meaning mainly they're talking about payday lenders.
Like predatory lenders.
Like highly predatory lenders. I actually heard about, I read an article a few weeks ago about payday lending in the UK and the fact that it's worse than here.
That's crazy.
Which kind of surprised me. Because we regulate payday lending more in this country than they do in the UK.
I'll tell you, and here's one of the reasons why it's nuts. Because Americans are stupid and are very willing to take these payday loans. Apparently, Brits are just as stupid.
Well, they're willing to... you can wind up in a 5,853 APR loan.
What? 5,000% interest loan?
Almost 6,000% interest loan.
No. If you don't make all of your first 5 payments, there is a bit of a step up in your rate. We're going to start you off
Our introductory
rate is 18%. If you don't pay it off within the first year, it jumps up a little bit to almost 6,000%.
Yeah. It's a lot.
So each payment that you make, you're actually losing money.
Yeah. Basically, you have to come up with the whole sum or else you're going to be screwed.
The whole sum 6 times over.
Now, these are short-term loans, and usually the way that a lot of these industries get around that is that they just charge a fee for the loan.
Right.
And at least that's how they do it in the United States, according to stuff I've read. I've never... I've never taken out one of these things.
Have you seen the ads, the TV ads for the I don't remember what Indian tribe. There's an Indian tribe that's doing this kind of lending now.
Oh, really?
And their ads are great. There's this beautiful honesty to them, which is like, our rates are still high, but they're way lower than everybody else, than the payday loan down the street.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean,
there you go.
Basically,
so what does the C of E have to say about all this?
Well, they hate these things.
Well, yeah.
They find them predatory, which they're right. And they find that it's sort of, they're bad for society.
Indeed.
They're, this kind of lending under the auspices, like it's sort of cleaned up. These are loan shark rates.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But it's sort of cleaned up and it's kind of made to appear reputable because it's a chain, and you go into a storefront and there's a neon sign outside or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it has a counter, like a bank.
It feels more legitimate than going to Vinny down the road and saying, hey, right? What's the VIG on a $25 loan?
There's a sense that when a business is up and running, at least in our here in this country, if there's a business up and running,
right,
you feel like there's some kind of,
if somehow there's been brick and mortar
stamp of approval, even right? They've gotten a business license. They've that they must be living up to some kind of standards and regulations.
Although I gotta say that like an actual loan shark might seem a little more legit in London, in Britain. Okay. I say, do you want to borrow some money?
Yeah, I'm sure
I'm
sure they have posh accents.
I have an excess of money. I'd be happy to lend you some. It's only for a small fee. You really should consider it.
Yeah. Well, how could you refuse?
How could you? It's so polite.
Yeah. But nonetheless, so the way that they are working to shut down is not through legislation.
Okay.
But by competing with them.
Yes. I smelled it. I smelled it coming. I smelled it. I just thought, you know what? They're getting into this.
Yeah. They are bolstering the credit union industry. They're working to get to infuse the industry with funds. And to bolster its reputation and to get more of them out there and let people know that a lot of credit unions offer very similar services for a lot less money.
Wow. And then the C of E splits the profits with the credit unions and makes a little bit of coin.
Yeah, well, they need to do something to...
Because nobody's going to church anymore. Pretty soon it's going to be...
all those churches, you got to keep them up
Pretty
somehow.
soon everybody's going to be going to church for a loan.
Mm-hmm.
Bless me, Father, for I have missed my car payment.
Yeah.
You are blessed, my son.
Yeah.
Here's £1,500.
You need to get the loan before you miss payments, though. Because that's the whole point.
Well, yeah.
Because you want to get yourself in on, like...
But that's not.
You don't want the fees.
That's never what happens.
No, I know
The reason that people get the loans is because they've missed all of their payments and the fees are piling up, and they just have to get themselves out from under it, and so they only want to pay one fee to the loan people.
Yeah, but that fee is a miserable fee.
It's outrageous. It's just okay. Any of you, our dear listeners, who think that a payday or a title loan might be a good way to get yourself out of your problems,
please let us know.
Please just don't do it.
Yeah, please don't.
Please find any other means necessary. Make arrangements with your creditors, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you need to do, don't go to these guys.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anywho.
Isn't that interesting, though? I like that approach. I like that philosophy of like, well, we don't like what you're doing in this country. For whatever reason, we can't get it legislated away. So we're just going to compete
like
with
that.
you.
I do have to say, though, it does fly in the face of history, which is that usury, which is what this is, lending, is against Christian law.
Oh, no, that's true.
And not only is it against Christian law, it is so much against Christian law that if you look back in history, there are places, basically, Jews made all of their living in parts of Europe based solely on the fact that no one else could lend.
Yeah.
Everybody else was literally like it was against their religion to lend, but they still had to do business. So that's how the Jewish community made their way.
Yeah.
For centuries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the basis for Shakespeare's play Merchant of Venice.
Yeah.
Is that a Jew, loans the money.
Oh, I mean, and
So it's great now that the Church of England is like, meh, we'll just do it. I don't care. That's awesome.
But yeah, you're right.
But
It's a little strange
I'm down
from
with
a
it.
historical perspective. But I like the fact that they're getting in the way of senseless
Of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Well,
Wait,
you've got one more.
there's one more.
Okay.
Wait, there's more.
Okay.
You've heard of the chairman of the GOP, Reince Priebus. Reince
What are you saying?
Priebus is
Not
not. Those
Reince
are
Priebus.
two not words. Anyway, what I'm saying
Are you
is
saying
that
he's large and can't say his B's?
no, I'm just saying that his name
he's a little jowly around his mouth.
his name does not exist. There aren't
okay.
those aren't real words.
Oh, okay. Rent Priebus.
Rent, prevent.
Rent. It sounds like is he
Rinse-
trying to rent a car?
Rinse
A Priebus?
Yes, he's trying to rent a Priebus. Anyway, so you know that the GOP are
The grand old party.
the Republicans, if you will,
Yes.
the right wing part of our dualistic two-party system here in
Yes.
the United States
Yes.
of America.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win at the last major elections. In the national, Mitt Romney didn't win to be president, and they did not gain the ground that they had hoped to
This is true.
in the Congress. So there was all this talk we've been hearing for months, almost a year now, about all this jibber jabber about tolerance and about inclusion, about we're going to bring in all the Latinos and we're going to bring in all the everybody.
That's why they lost.
We lost because we don't have diversity.
Yeah.
We're gonna explode with diversity from now on
Well, yeah, because
in the
let's face
GOP.
it, whites aren't reproducing
Right.
at a rate to keep up with immigration from other groups.
And
so
these guys see the writing on the wall.
the
and
GOP is white.
it looks bad,
Yeah.
but they're not just white. What else are they?
Well, they've got a little bit of
No, I'm saying they're white
and Christian.
Christians.
Yeah.
So
And douchebags.
and douchebags, yeah, white Christian douchebags. They're not working too hard on the douchebag part, but they're working hard on trying to sort of get past just being white and Christian.
Okay.
Or are they?
Oh.
So here's what Priebus said. So he's talking about he's been going around saying using what was it? It was in reference to a USA Today piece titled "GOP Chairman Urges Tolerance for Views on Gay Marriage."
Okay.
Now that's not he's probably just saying, hey, let's not all smear the queer when it comes to somebody in our ranks who says it's okay to get gay married.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Right,
let's not all jump on them and stuff. Maybe we can make space in our ranks for people who believe that gay marriage is okay.
Okay.
He's not himself saying that,
But somebody was saying that.
then he goes on to Pat Robertson's Christian Broadcasting Network to be interviewed by David Brody. I don't know anything about David Brody, but he goes on and he says, he basically says, no, that's not what I was saying. And he goes on to say, I don't know if I use the word tolerance. I don't really care for that word myself. I don't have a problem with it. I just think it has another meaning politically that can go the other direction.
Oh.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Then he said, our principles are sound. I do believe, and I still will tell you, that our party believes that marriage is between one man and one woman. Our party believes that life begins at conception.
Yes.
I think those are foundational issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, so imagine a little ... He says, what you will see is that is a party that embraces life, a party that embraces marriage, and a chairman that understands that there is only one sovereign God.
Oh. So what is he? Okay.
I think he's just saying...
He's getting religious-y.
he's on a religious-y show.
Right.
Granted.
Right.
But I mean, it doesn't sound to me like they're going for the Muslim vote or the Hindu vote,
I thought you might actually be leading to something that I read sometime in the last couple of weeks.
What was that?
Which was talking about how the GOP might actually not need the murmuring amongst GOPers at the moment is that they may not actually need to court the minority vote. They may not actually have to get nice yet,
right?
Because, and the whole thing was like there was this analysis about, well, if you don't have Barack Obama running, you're not going to have a minority turnout quite in the same way that you did,
right?
From the supporting the Democrat. And so they're thinking that, well, maybe actually we don't have to like completely throw away these issues that we've been railing on for so long, such as immigration reform,
right?
And you know, a border wall. So yeah,
we just need a border wall against the gays. We need
we're already here.
The Mexicans against one wall.
We were born here. Well, some of us were.
Yeah. Anyway,
most of us were.
No, we yeah. Although it is funny because I heard another thing, another analysis, electoral analysis, looking at Texas, the state of Texas, which has a huge number of electoral votes.
It's true, yeah.
Very important for presidential elections, and it's getting Mexicaner and Mexicaner and blacker,
and the Democrats have shifted focus to Texas.
Because they think they might be able to get it.
Money into Texas.
So it may not matter. You know, one of the things that may happen, you know, in terms of now we're suddenly a show about like political strategy.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I was actually thinking we normally don't talk partisan politics quite this openly on the show.
But it was interesting.
Little disclaimer
because I'm just thinking that the in terms of strategy, it might. While you say the GOP may not have to court the diverse electorate just yet, what could happen is, you know, they run the liberals run whoever, Hillary or whatever, in the next election, but they make sure to run someone who's very brown in Texas, so that all the Texas voters come out, so that all the Texas
that would be interesting.
And then you know, if they do that, then they might capture Texas, and then
that would be fun.
Skadoosh. Anyway.
Yeah, we're a couple Democrats, folks.
I'm not a Democrat.
Well, you lean left.
I lean left. It's true. But I hate a lot of Democrats as much as I hate a lot of Republicans. I'll say that for sure.
But when was the last time you voted Republican? And it was probably the same time I did, actually.
I cannot tell you the last time I voted Republican. I may have never voted Republican in my life.
Voted Republican, and I'm a registered Democrat.
No, you're right. I voted Republican on the state level for sure.
Yeah. John Huntsman.
Right.
Yeah. Of course.
Because Huntsman was great.
Because he was awesome.
So there you go.
Second term was, I mean, first term I was like, when he ran the first time, I was like, I don't know, he's a Utah Republican. There's no way I'm voting for him.
Second time.
And the second one, I was like, he is not a Utah Republican. I'm totally voting for him.
Exactly. Yeah. Anywho.
So anyways.
Now we're just revealing our votes.
I know.
That's okay.
But anyways.
We're not surprising anybody.
No.
So how do people reach us, Frank?
Facebook.com/TGIAtheist. They can go and like us there.
Yeah.
And then they can follow shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And they can comment.
All the shit that we haven't posted for a couple weeks.
It doesn't matter.
I've been away. I'm mostly
Dan
our Facebook
babysits
guy.
the Facebook.
Anyway, you can also email us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you could leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
That's right.
We're going to take a little break.
We'll listen to some people saying some things.
Alrighty. And this is the people that we're listening to is actually Rick Santorum.
Oh, yeah. It's a person.
Yeah.
We will never have the media on our side, ever, in this country. We will never have the elite, smart people on our side because they believe they should have the power to tell you what to do. So our colleges and universities, they're not going to be on our side. The conservative movement will always be And that's why we founded Patriot Voices. The basic premise of America and American values will always be sustained through two institutions: the church and the family. And so economic conservatives and libertarian types can say, oh, well, we don't want to talk about the social issues. Without the church and the family, there is no conservative movement, there is no basic values in America enforced, and there is no future for our country.
Wait a second. Is that the future of the country rests in the hands of the church and the family? Is that what he said? Or was it freedom? What did he say?
I kind of stopped listening after he said that the conservative movement will never have the smart people.
Yeah, that's who you want to be.
Wait, yeah, last thing we want in our movement. Look, let's just accept it. The smart people know better than to come with us.
That ship has sailed.
There's just no way. We are a movement of dumb people. And we're going to stay that way, so let's just figure out what that means for us.
So, if you want your children to continue to be good conservatives, don't get them an education.
You got to dumb them bastards up.
Don't let them get smart.
You got to dumb them up. I'm telling you right now, as soon as they go to that college, you're lost.
Yeah, but that's how my parents feel, actually.
Yeah. Why did we let him go? Well, we sent him to a religious college.
But then he left.
Oh.
Why did he leave? Because I saw through the bullshit.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Yeah.
Well, people have written and
people have
voicemailed us.
That has happened too.
We'll let's read some stuff. We got an email from an anonymous person in Arkansas.
An anonymous?
An anomaly. An anonymous anomaly.
Okay.
In Arkansas, who says who has given us a donation. But it's not a monetary donation.
Oh.
This person has paid, they registered the domain name tgiatheist.com.
Oh.
And they've set it up to forward everybody to Thank God I'm Atheist.
Oh.
Isn't that sweet?
That's super sweet.
Because, our Facebook handle is TGIAtheist, and our YouTube handle is TGIAtheist, and we have been stupid and or lazy and never got it as a domain name. So thanks, Arkansanian. What's a person in Arkansas called?
Arkansan.
Oh, that's gross. I don't like that.
I don't know if that's true or not.
It may be right, but I don't like it. So I'm going to go with Arkansonian. Arkansanese. Wow. The Arkansanese. Anyway, thank you, friend.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very, very, very much. That's really nice. Pause. All of my emails in all of this internet going up and down thing, they all closed.
Okay.
So which ones was I doing? Do you remember?
You were doing Kurt.
Where? Okay,
and
Kurt.
Al.
Wait. Oh, Al. That's right. Let me find Al. That's 3 Chinese ladies.
Right.
Okay, cool. Let me open that one up. Okay, excellent.
Kurt.
K-U-R-T?
Oh, sorry, not Kurt. Kyle. I don't know why I saw Kurt.
K-Y-L-E?
Yep.
Okay, Bumps in the Night. I don't think I read that one as deeply as I should have. Okay, and what else?
Oh, Joshua.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, cool. Sorry about that.
Okay. Where were we?
We had just finished an email.
Okay. So, your turn.
Okay, well, I have, I got a couple emails here. Let's see. In response to last week's show with Adam, we have voices, bumps in the night, and creepy stuff from Kyle, and he talks about. He says, you asked listeners to write in on the subject of ridding ourselves of the visceral reactions to those bumps in the night type reactions to things. I thought I could share my story, and maybe it could be interesting enough to make the show. My upbringing was in a rigid, abusive, homeschooled Baptist environment. Every crazy Baptist story you may have heard, I've probably seen happen myself once or twice.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
Yeah. I was terrified of everything as a kid. I know that one for sure, personally. But never believed in ghosts or apparitions because the idea never scared me as much as my parents did. Whereas I kind of did believe in ghosts.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Anyway, I only tell you this because so that you know, once I left home, I was literally not scared of anything. Horror movies, bungee jumping, basically, unless I was startled for a moment of fight or flight adrenaline, I didn't experience fear at all. Also, as you probably have guessed, I did become an atheist once I was away from my parents, blah, blah, blah.
That's not blah, blah, blah. That's yay.
Yay!
Yay, Kyle.
So anyways, now for the interesting part. A year or so ago, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Since it's more of a genetic thing for me, I didn't start having symptoms until age 25, and it hasn't really peaked yet, so treatment has been difficult. Regardless, you wanted to know how an atheist would react to hearing voices or seeing things that they knew weren't real. I can tell you, no matter what you believe, in the midst of a panic attack, hearing a voice tell you to hurt yourself, you'll reconsider your thoughts on the existence of demons and whatnot.
Absolutely.
As at least until the episode is over. The important thing is holding on to what you know is real and knowing what your brain can do when its chemistry gets messed up. I think personally being an atheist helps me bounce back from the episode a lot faster because I know it's just screwy neurons and nothing more. But that's my perspective. Anyway, I hope my story is interesting enough. I'm a big fan. Make sure the listeners know that if they have mental health issues, even if they're not as crazy as mine, of course, they can still lead normal lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle,
That's
first of all,
amazing.
awesome. Thank you for writing to us. I think, first of all, I do want to go with him on this and just I love the fact that he's working to get the stigma taken off of mental health issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's not it's so funny that people can be like, if you have physical health issues, you get cancer or something and everybody goes, "Oh my God, what can I do for you?"
Right. Yeah.
But if you get a mental health issue, suddenly everybody's like, "Oh, am I okay to be around you?" Or,
yeah,
which is stupid.
right.
So thanks for writing in, Kyle. And yeah, what's fascinating about this? I hadn't thought of it, but I think he's right. I think atheism is actually very helpful when it comes to dealing with episodes like what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Panic attacks, psychotic episodes, any sort of episode like that, because you can tell yourself, this isn't the devil. This isn't a demon.
Right.
This is neurons. This is chemistry. This is shit going wrong in my brain.
Well, right.
Whereas
if you're because the thing is his grip on reality in those moments and immediately after,
you're going to lose your grip.
Is a reality though that has that has that explanation rather than also having a world where voices could possibly happen and demons do exist and blah blah blah.
So you don't know what
the lines
it is.
get blurred.
Right.
I can only imagine how first of all how terrifying it must be.
Right. Yeah. No. I heard a very interesting thing. At one point, I heard a thing on. I think I may have mentioned this before, but I heard a thing on. I think on This American Life, and it was about schizophrenia, and it was about and somebody had created a video. To sort of like a first-person sort of point-of-view shot video, to give you the sense of what it might be like to be schizophrenic.
Oh wow!
But like a sort of extreme case of schizophrenia, But the thing is that people with schizophrenia see human beings right there in front of them. We've all seen A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a person who's there, have a full conversation, and they're not real.
Right.
And then there's the paranoid part of it where people who are real suddenly seem like they don't trust you or they don't like you.
Right.
And you can't tell why or how. All of that stuff, if you don't have any kind of cognitive place to go with that, if your go-to place is religion, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. And obviously part of religion was there to explain why people were why people were talking to themselves and why people were acting paranoid and acting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And they chalked it up to demons. Mm-hmm. Well, great. I mean, at least it's an explanation, but now we have science. We understand that that's not what that is. So that totally makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thanks again, Kyle. I got an email from Danny.
Oh, okay.
Who says that he likes our podcast. He says he mentioned a possible discussion topic. He listened to our show about the Jehovah's Witnesses who don't celebrate Christmas or Easter or whatever. And he said, "What are your opinions about atheists celebrating Christmas, Easter, etc.? I love the holiday season in general."
Question.
And have always celebrated, and have always had several Jewish friends, so I celebrate Christmas and usually attend a Hanukkah celebration each year. But Easter had always seemed pointless to me. However, I have met several atheists that refuse to celebrate any religious holidays, even ones like Christmas, that have little religious.
You might as well be a Jehovah's Witness at that point.
Like, I mean, yeah.
I'm so grumpy. I don't believe it.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. It's like, I don't want to celebrate. Everybody talks about the reason for the season.
Yeah.
And like, it's opposite for us. We're like, all the things that you're saying aren't the reason for the season actually are. Yeah. And that's what we want.
Yeah. That's the stuff. Put up a tree. Put some lights on it.
Right.
It's nice. You have this glowy thing in your house when it's all dark outside.
Right. It's
like,
pretty.
It's pretty.
It's fun.
Yeah. There's tradition, which is always nice.
Sure.
And kids love that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
And like, well, I mean,
and it's winter and it's
fun
dark.
songs to sing that aren't Jesus-y at all. Even I love the Jesus-y ones.
They're fun songs.
I love the Jesus-y ones. Away in a Manger.
Yeah, they're so pretty. So what are you going to do? You sing the songs, you do whatever. It's nice for those of us in the northern hemisphere because it's winter and things get dark and you want something light and fun to play.
Yeah.
So you do that. I don't know about all you Australians out there. I don't know if you want to celebrate Christmas or not. You can do the whole Tim Minchin thing, drinking white wine in the sun.
Yeah, sure.
Which sounds just as nice to me.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. Celebrate whatever the fuck you want to celebrate. If you want, I mean, it's just an excuse to get together with people and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Why be a grump?
However, if your celebrating of Christmas or Easter is about going to your family's house or your in-laws' house or something and listening to somebody blather on about Jesus, I can see wanting to skip that.
Yeah.
Make it yours. That's the point. Make it yours.
Yeah.
And figure out a way that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then don't celebrate it. And that's fine too. Anyway.
Sure. That's fine.
You got another one?
I do. So this is from Alan.
Alan.
It's from Alan?
I don't know.
Who's saying this? Al.
Okay.
From Canada.
Okay. Hi, Al.
So he says, is the answer to the 3 Chinese... Okay, so this is about last week's episode.
Right.
Adam had just shared a story about...
when he was a Taoist.
When he was a Taoist, there were these 3 Chinese ladies who showed up, and they did this little trick with writing in the sand and getting, like, messages out to the people, right? And so
everybody would write, all the audience members would write a thing.
And so it says, is the answer to the 3 Chinese lady trick that the first lady wrote gibberish in the sand, the second lady opened the bits of paper the audience provided while pretending to write Chinese, and the third lady read out a mixture of pre-prepared specific readings that sounded believable and wild guesses based on the audience provided information.
Right.
It's a single person reading prepared material interspersed with cold/warm readings. To the believer, it feels like a very successful reading. Almost everything they heard of other people's readings sounded convincing, and the few crumbs thrown at them for their own answers is all the proof they need.
I think that there's something to that. I think that, I don't know specifically, because I listened to Adam's description of it, and I thought that I didn't get the sense that it was some big parlor trick.
Right.
But I did get the sense that it was just like any psychic reading or just like any whatever.
Right.
These women, these girls, I thought they were girls. Didn't he say that they were kind of youngish girls?
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, the fact is that they've been trained up to be able to give, reasonable answers to questions that sound specific. But, it's like any astrology. It's like any psychic. If you're good, you're going to be able to make it sound specific enough that it makes sense to the person and yet not be so, specific that it's off-putting or problematic.
I think that a lot of these things can be taught to people in a tradition, in a way that where they can pick up on how to do it, right?
Right.
Without there ever being the person... twirling their mustache.
Right, without anybody
is
being
intentionally trying to fool people. Personally.
Sure, I think that's possible.
Now, I think each one of them, I think participants oftentimes in these things might have their own doubts about it, but they see everybody else going along with it.
Right.
So, each one of these 3 Chinese ladies, just for sake of argument, might harbor their own doubts about their abilities as prophetesses or as soothsayers.
That's really what they are. They are sayers of sooth. They soothsay.
But that's what I believe.
Sure.
And it's impossible to believe, to figure that out.
Right.
Or to prove it.
Yeah,
right?
you can't know.
I can't prove it. Well, but that's always been my suspicion is that having been in a fairly superstitious environment growing up, y'all believe it, but y'all kind of doubt it too.
Right. But nobody talks about their doubt. Everybody talks about their belief. Nobody talks about their doubt. And eventually the belief gets reinforced enough that everybody's just sort of okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to, we need to get a clip on through these, but I did want to, Daniel sent us an email that just said, he asked about how we feel about, he calls it Christianity being in everyday conversation, using phrases like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, all these things, holy shit, God damn it, all of these sorts of things. He wanted to know what we thought about it.
I think it's a way to show that they have no power over you.
I think it's just,
and it's just part of the language.
It could be. To me, that's where I go. Sorry, because I did struggle with this. When I first came out as an atheist, I thought, what's funny is that I had 2 moments. I had the first moment, which is, I'm not Mormon anymore. I can say, holy shit, and Jesus Christ, and God damn it, I can say all these phrases, and I don't get in trouble.
Right.
And then I had the second moment of, do I have the right to say these things?
Yeah,
these are not our things. But here's what I came to. These are now public idioms. These are cultural idioms.
Yeah.
They are not religious phrases anymore. Right. They're cultural phrases.
Yeah.
So use them with impunity. We clearly do on the title of our show.
Yeah.
Thank God we can use them. And all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think absolutely.
Yeah, I say Jesus Christ all the time.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Fucking shit show in here.
It is.
Man.
Yep. But what's funny is that most of our swear words, a lot of Mormons get so hung up on swear words in the U.S. And U.S. swear words are so much more tame, theologically speaking, than, like, for instance, your French swear words and your Italian swear words, which all have some sort of religious significance.
Right.
Ours are just poop and sex.
Yeah.
That's all ours are.
Well, and we say Jesus Christ.
We do. I mean, yeah, we have that, but I mean, fucking shit and all that stuff. That's just poop and sex. That's just bodily functions. That's not religiously offensive the way traditional swear words were.
Well, all right. All right. I have an email from Joshua. And I'm going to read a little bit of the second part of it. He's bringing up this what is it? This is the tweet analysis story.
Oh, right.
Where we kind of called out this. It was a study about how atheists are sort of less, or Christians show up as being more happy on Twitter than atheists.
Right. Because they use happy words.
They use happy words, and atheists tend to not
use grumpy words.
We don't like that, you know. And he said that he initially he says that that we were right in our sort of analysis about
how flawed their study was.
Yeah. But the kind of text mining that these folks were doing is called sentiment analysis. And when applied by retailers and manufacturers, it works quite well.
Huh.
Because you're able to pull up a lot of these words, bag of words approach isn't always terribly reliable. And he uses a really good example. He says, where was this? It was something about don't hit the kids. No, wait a second, let me find it. For the classic example are the sentences, slow down so you don't hit the children, and don't slow down so you hit the children. It's using the exact same words.
Right.
So if you're not looking at grammar, if you're not looking at syntax, right, then if you're just doing a bag of words, then it can you don't know what the real meaning is.
Right.
And since atheists use, because we define ourselves by what we don't believe,
right,
we might be using more negative words. So, and by negative words, simply no and not.
Right.
And so, and that could be why this study came out the way that it did. I believe that kind of covers what his email was about. I'm not actually going to read much of it.
No,
but I thought it was a really interesting thing that it's an actual. It's a field of study, and of course it is.
Of course it is. And just to your point of not reading the whole thing out loud, just so you know, we do read every email that comes
absolutely.
in. We can't use every email that comes in.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There's far too many of them, and so we get to what we can. Our friend Erica, I just had to get to this one. Our friend Erica from Napa did write in, and she...
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Erica. And she basically said, she's talking about the bench.
Oh, the bench. Yeah. Okay.
The bench.
What does Erica have to say?
But she just she agreed with us and said that she put it very, very well. She said what it's about is pointing out to Christians what they're actually advocating, and so she says what this is about is Christians. Here's what you are advocating. This is what we are experiencing, and this is what the experience could be like for you if it was any other religion or belief rather than Christianity. Meaning, what the bench should be pointing out is to show, or what we as a community, as an atheist community, regardless of any atheist monuments, what we should be doing is trying to get the Christian community to understand how their actions affect other people and why it's not okay. Sort of thing. She says
some empathy training.
Right, exactly.
Empathy building exercises.
I had mentioned when we were talking about it, holding a mirror up to them and saying, look at this. And she says it's not so much about reflecting back. She agrees the mirror. She says it's not so much about reflecting back the stupidity of their belief, but more reflecting back the effect of their actions.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well put.
Okay, we've got some voicemails to play.
Yes, we do. We're getting through a lot here.
We're working.
It's kind of 2 weeks worth.
It's 2 weeks worth. That's why there's so much.
Yeah.
So thanks for bearing with us.
Yeah. So here we have one from. He'll introduce himself.
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Danny. I actually just got done listening to the episode where Adam told the story about his dad and how it kind of led him away from religion, and I just wanted to share a little story I had, similar experience I had, where my dad was in the hospital a few years back, and he had been in it for a while due to malpractice from a different hospital, and he almost died over the course of 4 weeks. He was in the hospital, and when he got out, when he made a very miraculous recovery, I had posted about it, and somebody commented and said, "God is good." And it actually pissed me off because it was an accident he was in the hospital for an accident that occurred from somebody else that was supposedly God's plan, and he made a recovery by the care of another hospital, and so it just kind of made me mad. And the people that did it knew I was an atheist. I'm not quiet about it, and I thought that was kind of anecdotal to what he said. I love your guys' podcast. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you. Yeah, that was God. Somebody post the thing. God is good.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And your God.
Hospital B is good.
Yeah.
If God was
They're
so
the ones who
good,
did the good work.
if God was so good, Hospital A would have done better.
Well, their doctors weren't Christian at Hospital A.
No, they just didn't pray hard enough at the first hospital, so they needed to go to another hospital and pray a lot harder.
Sounds like they were praying too much, if you ask me. Not enough practicing with medicine. All right, here's another voicemail.
Hey guys, this is Alan. Apropos of the discussion of having that spooky reaction when you see something out of the corner of your eye or something, that's completely normal. That's I think you guys mentioned that's evolution. It's agency detection. You're not going to see a burglar and mistake it for a shadow, but it's really easy to see a shadow and think you've seen a burglar. So all you do in the moment, you have your little shiver or whatever, and then you just think to yourself, this is normal, and it just use your intellectual capacity to think it away. That's what makes atheism and skepticism better than magical thinking and superstition. We're able to do that. So keep up the great work, guys.
Well put, Alan. Yeah, agent detection.
Hooray for brains.
Brains that work.
Brains that work. And you're right. Yeah, I mean, agent detection. We're always going to be spooked by stuff.
Yeah.
That's just built into the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Just use a little bit of a rational thought.
Just take a breath. Work through the spooky feeling.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much I hate like all the ghosty, spirity stuff that's out there. Like I can't tell you, it bothers me on a core level.
Yeah.
Because it's just not acknowledging reality.
I've been hearing people talk about
Even
ghosts and hauntings and just like late night stuff a lot lately.
Yeah,
and
you caught something out of the corner of your eye. I got news for you. You caught something out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
You don't know what you caught.
Exactly.
You heard something. Well, you don't know what you heard.
Right.
So stop acting like you know.
Right.
Ugh, I hate that.
Right.
Even Adam talking about how he gets all like spooky about like bad feelings in the house. I was just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Adam.
But he's the first one to admit that it's not rational.
I know.
So, all right, here we go.
Hi, Frank and Dan. This is Molly from New Jersey. I love your podcast so much. I started listening a few months ago, and since then I've finally been honest with people and telling them that I am an atheist. Now, I just have a quick question. I usually am in the UK. I'm actually home for the summer, which is why I can finally call, because it's cheaper that way. And friends are always asking me why there's so many kind of religious fanatics in the United States. And I always say that it's because, the U.S. is so big, so there's kind of room for these, like, very regional, kind of secluded pockets of fanaticism of religion. But I'm never really happy kind of with that answer. And I was wondering, especially since you guys went on your road trip recently, if you have kind of a more thoughtful response to this. Thank you so much, guys. I love your podcast, and I hope to donate soon. Thank you. Bye.
Oh,
thanks, Molly.
She's so cute. First of all, Molly, congratulations on coming out as an atheist.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, coming out to more people, being more open.
Right.
Hooray. Second of all, congratulations on living in the UK, because I love the UK, and I totally live there. Yeah, okay,
And
so
thirdly,
so here's my response. I think this is brilliant. Here's what you tell your UK people when they say why there's so many religious nut jobs in the US.
Okay.
Your fault. That is
you kicked
your
them all
fault.
out.
You kicked us out. You took all of the religious nut jobs in your country and you shipped them over here. What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Assholes.
It's just been festering for centuries.
We've been trying to get rid of it. It has taken us centuries.
Yeah.
And we're still dealing with it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I think her point about it being a large country is also apt because what it provides is a lot of space for people to kind of hide out and do their own thing.
True that.
I mean, stuff that we saw in Alabama,
Ooh.
you know, crazy folk, you know, painting up old refrigerators with, you know, messages about God and Jesus. You know, that happens in rural spaces. That doesn't happen in a city.
Right.
Right.
Because in a city, people know that that's just a crazy person. But what happens, I think, out in the rural areas.
There's also, I mean, they'll make you clean it up.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that.
But what happens in the rural areas is that they go, oh, he's not crazy. He just loves the Lord.
Yeah.
There is this sort of, I honestly,
special.
I don't think we have a decent answer from all.
We really do. I don't.
But I do think I don't know. I mean, it happens all over the world. The U.S. is a unique place because it's so powerful and big. So everybody has to look at what's happening in the U.S.
Right.
And everybody has to be worried about what's happening in the U.S.
Right. And you assume that a wealthy, prosperous place will
would be
kind of root some of that out, but it just doesn't. I don't think
it's happening. I mean, we're seeing a very quick rise in non-religious people.
Yeah, but that doesn't
country.
mean that the crazy folk on the other side are going to all of a sudden disappear.
No, but hopefully they'll be more and more marginalized.
Right.
As we go on.
Yeah.
Or feel like they can do their crazy with impunity the way they can. Hopefully that'll change.
Perhaps. But nonetheless, thanks for the
voicemail.
We've got one more voicemail, and we'll go to it right now.
Hey, Frank and Nan. This is Tom again from Metro Detroit. I told my grandma I was atheist, and everything went good. She was always the one who was more accepting of me not going to church, and I told her, and she said, well, that's fine. And then she continued to watch Bill O'Reilly. So I just want to thank you for opining, as Bill O'Reilly would say, on my thoughts. Thank you. Bye.
All right, Tom. Thanks for the update, Tom. Tom
That's awesome.
Called
in, 3 episodes ago?
It's a bit ago.
Asked us whether what our thoughts were on
telling,
coming out, and
telling
his
grandma and whatever.
everything.
Well, I'm glad that she was cool with it.
Yeah, it's a relief,
yeah, it is.
And
now you get to be I mean, I'm guessing that won't come up much in your relationship, but at very least you're on the same page.
And she knows.
She knows.
And
you are revealed.
Ultimately, she's probably doesn't care that much.
No, exactly. Yeah, it sounds like she very much doesn't care. But what's nice about that? So what that ends up meaning is that, like, if you're having a conversation and her impulse is to start to say something Jesus-y, she won't.
Yeah,
and that's great. Or she will, and you can say, Grandma, I don't do that.
Yeah,
and then it's done. That is, you can't believe what a load off just that is. Just not to have the Jesus conversation.
Yeah,
that's so great.
Yeah. Awesome.
So congrats.
All right. Well, now we can move right along
to our thought experiment.
Our little experiment.
I proposed to Frank that we would have today a thought experiment as our final segment. And what I proposed was this.
Mm-hmm.
What could we gain if we could choose? Now, for my part, I can't choose to be a believer.
Well,
because I've already
can really,
because that bell cannot be unrung. Once you've realized, once you've come to a very real sense of why there isn't
you just
a
stick
God.
Your finger on it and make it stop ringing.
You can make it stop ringing, but you can't unring it.
Mm.
Once the doubt seems more likely than the belief, it's kind of over with.
Okay, all right.
For everybody except C.S. Lewis.
Oh.
Anyway, but what if we could? So this is the thought. What if we could go back and be a believer? What benefits would we get
Like, why would we even want to try?
Right. So, which I wouldn't currently.
Neither would I.
I would have no desire to be a believer ever again.
It's just awful.
But what does it have? What? But clearly, it has something to offer. So let us go through and sort of discuss what we could gain by going back to believing in a god or gods.
When you asked me this, the first one that just popped to my head immediately was broad social acceptance.
Okay, true. Right now, we're part of a marginalized group of people.
And so, I mean, if, like, what would a reason be? Well, okay, you know, if you didn't have to tell your grandma, right,
we can.
Like if Tom could have just flipped that switch right back on, or off, depending on how you look at it.
Suddenly you've got that commonality with grandma.
Yeah.
So that's nice. It's nice to be in the majority group. As a straight white male, I can say all three of those things. Pretty nice to be a part of. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying I benefit from the fact that I just happened to luck into majority status on those things.
Yeah.
It makes my life pretty easy. I like. Have you ever heard Louis C.K.'s whole deal about that? Mm-hmm. About being white?
Yeah.
And how he can go to any point in history and that works out well for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, being Christian, especially in America, help us out on that. It'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
I was thinking that being a believer, we could be part, because one of the things that even though there are now humanist/atheist churches, as we discussed earlier in today's show, they're not bound. Nobody in that church is bound by a singular sense of purpose, sense of commonality, common belief system. They're bound by something
powerful,
fairly weak, which is we all don't believe in the same thing. And also we're all part of this marginalized group. There's also that.
Right.
So there is that, but man, to be a part of something where everyone believes the same thing, where everybody's got this set of beliefs that we can all commune over, that's actually a pretty big community. That's a pretty strong thing. You know what I mean?
Meaning that it ties that sense of being tied together is very powerful.
Absolutely, it's that strong sense of being tied together. It's we can all get together, and I may have nothing in common with.
It gives you a sense of purpose
with Mr. Joe and Miss Susie. But we have this in common. Yeah. So we can actually come and meet each other on that common ground, and then see what comes up. You meet all these various people, and you have that instant commonality.
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be cool.
Okay, sure. Obviously, there's the idea of comfort.
What do you mean
comforted?
By that?
Well, I think religious folk have a sense of sort of being good with this higher power of the universe, right? But the universe personified, right? So it's because I feel fine with the universe, but I don't think the universe feels fine. Like it's not that I don't think the universe actively does not feel fine about me. I just don't think the universe thinks anything of me. Right. Whereas they have a sense that like there's this personified power that is, when you're doing well and when you're doing good, that you're getting
cosmic benefit
smiled upon.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
By this all-powerful thing.
And not only that,
you get a
sense that there is a plan. You're part of the plan.
Right.
When something feels like it's going wrong, don't worry. It's part of the plan.
Right.
When something feels like it's gone horribly, horribly wrong, take a breath.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Supposed to be like that. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to make sense of it. You just have to sort of breathe through it and know that this greater thing, this higher power has created it to be this way, and it's fine.
Yeah, and depending on your tradition, it might even be predetermined.
Indeed.
Predestined.
Yeah. I can see that there could be comfort in that.
Which then if you, go out and, have sex with cheat on your wife or your
You've
spouse
ruined-
or
you've ruined
whatever. But no.
Oh, well, if it's
It
all
was
foreordained.
Yeah, it was foreordained. That was supposed to happen.
Yeah, that would piss me off. Boy, that would piss me off.
You were preordained to go to hell.
Dear God, why would you make me an adulterer and then make adultery wrong?
Yeah.
That's just bullshit.
But that's God.
He works
He's
in
got a
mysterious
plan.
ways.
He has a plan, Dan. He has a plan for you.
Very mysterious.
And yours is to go to hell.
I think there would be some comfort in the idea of having a laid out set of rules. You know the rules.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your own sense of morality.
You don't have to wing it.
You don't have to wing it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out you don't have to sit down and go, well, is this wrong? Is it right? I don't know. You've got a structure.
But you can seek those out in from humanist traditions of learning about ethics and morality. But again, you're having to go, and especially if you're exiting from a church, if you're exiting from a religious tradition,
right,
where everybody you ever socialized with was of that, and now you're out on your own, you are winging it for a minute.
You are.
There's that moment before you figure it out, and before you figure out that there are other places you can go to figure out, other people have thought about this.
Well, and I never went to any other places. When I was winging it, when I was in my winging it period, it was just like, well, I just went, I guess I did, I looked at other philosophers and I looked at whatever, but to a large extent, it was just like, well, how do I feel about sex? Am I allowed to have sex before marriage? Oh, okay, that doesn't seem wrong anymore. Well, am I allowed to have sex, with multiple people? What, you have to redefine everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be nice to not have to think about all that stuff. Not everyone's a philosopher. Not everybody wants to explore that. So I could see that being nice.
Okay. I think it'd be nice, depending again on which church you picked.
Right.
A lot of churches have really nice amenities.
Hell yeah, they do.
Gymnasium.
Yeah, you can join
bowling alleys,
church league sports, and
they've got like little life skills classes.
They have to accept you. They are pretty
more
much
or less required
to let you play.
Yeah.
You got there are lots of classes, lots of things. Mm-hmm. The Mormons you mentioned earlier in our when we were talking before the show, you mentioned that the Mormons used to do what they called homemaking meeting, which they don't have that anymore, but it was for the ladies. Those girls could get together and teach each other how to make good recipes and how to, teach each other how to sew well, how to quilt.
Or not.
I
saw some of the crap my mom brought home.
Well, yes. They don't all have...
It wasn't always...
They're not all gems.
No.
The toll painted...
Oh, that is such... I am so glad. That was... When I moved to Utah, I was like, toll painting? What is that?
Oh, you skipped that.
Somehow that missed all the wards outside of Utah that we ever belonged to.
Oh, they're very cute things. You guys can look it up. Look up Mormon toll painting on just Google image that
and then
see what you come
imagine entire homes decorated with that.
Yeah, it's fallen out of fashion now.
Not so much anymore.
It's less common.
There was a moment in the 90s.
Yeah, it was like
isn't that sort of the heyday?
80s and 90s. Sure. What are they doing now? There was scrapbooking for a while. The Mormons were doing.
They like the scrapbooking.
They were crazy for the scrapbooking. I don't know what they're doing now. They got something brewing. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Something bad's gonna happen. Yeah, now they're all just storing food. Now they're all just
they've kind of gotten back
food.
into that big time, haven't they?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what else?
But you're right.
You'd have a year of food if you chose Mormonism.
Well, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but you would do it eventually.
Yeah.
You stockpile food.
Yeah, I have no reason to stockpile food. I don't think that's a good idea at all.
I think a small stockpile is good.
I think enough for a week.
I think a couple
or two.
Weeks.
A week or two, that's smart.
That's smart.
These guys are
and all it takes is
for
some canned goods. I mean, that takes nothing.
Yeah.
But
these people are stockpiling for 2 years.
Oh, I know.
Crazy.
Because the commies are coming.
Yeah, exactly. Because whatever disaster that's going to hit is going to be so bad that they will need 2 years worth of food.
Oh, I didn't show you my parents' fallout shelter when we were in Oklahoma.
No, you should have.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Damn it.
And it's good, too, huh?
It's a nice fallout shelter.
How huge is it?
Oh, It's not huge. It's big enough for probably a family of 4 to survive a nuclear holocaust.
Jesus Christ. It's amazing.
I mean, the air filters and all that don't work anymore.
Oh, they better get that fixed.
But they were like there was a hand crank, small little generator.
Oh, wow.
In there when we first moved
okay.
in. Yeah.
That's good. What else do we have? So we're a believer, the ability to pray when you're afraid.
You have the ability to pray.
No, but to be the ability to believe that your prayer is being heard by someone and someone cares about it.
Having the ability to believe in your prayer.
Right. That's a trickier issue.
Let me tell you, I was such a prayer.
I'll bet.
I prayed all the time. And I often have lower GI tract issues. And I would pray every single time that it would be quick and relatively painless.
Oh, Jesus, please let this poo be okay. Please help me to move my bowels. Oh my God.
Efficiently.
I was a prayer too. I would pray, but I was such a dramatic kid. It was just like, yes. But, I remember distinctly driving one time. I was driving through Colorado. Or maybe it was Wyoming, somewhere. But it was somewhere where it was wide open, and ahead of me, it was a stretch of Wyoming, and ahead of me was the most intense electric storm I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like, lightning was coming down, looked like sequoia trees, just huge, wide bolts of lightning hitting the ground, and it was frightening, and I was driving right toward it.
Wow.
And I had to get home. I knew I had to get home, so I would have to press through whatever was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was a moment where I was like, I want to pray so bad. Because, I was an atheist by that point.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted that comfort. I wanted that feeling of okay, Jesus, it's you and me now. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're going in.
Yeah. It's like the first time you threw up without your mom.
Yeah. The first time you seriously skin your knee and you don't have anyone to go to, or whatever, and you're just like, I know what to do,
I want
but
to yell for mom, I'm in college now.
I kind of need a hug right now. Hug me? Do I hug myself? What do I do? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to have that mom hug moment.
Yeah, it would. This is probably my last one.
Okay.
Having a weekly moment of reflection.
Absolutely.
Being able just to sit in a group of people and to just be still and to be quiet and kind of be separated off from the world.
Well, and to be encouraged at least weekly to think of something larger than the day-to-day life.
Yeah.
To take your mind to grander thoughts. I think we can often get caught up in just sort of, my sprinklers aren't working, and oh shit, this is happening, and god damn it, I gotta do that, and here's another bill to pay, and I've got too many things at my job to get done, and I don't have enough time to do it, and you just don't stop and breathe.
Yeah.
So, church, one of the smartest things about church is that it's stop, breathe, think about something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Think about a grander thing.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think that's a big deal. I think that's, how could that not be helpful? Now, granted, if that bigger thing than yourself is an imaginary magic person in the sky, that's not as good. But
do you have any other ones?
No.
So what do you think the takeaway of this is, Dan? Obviously, we brought it up as just sort of a little thought experiment,
right?
Because I'm not going to rush out and join any church.
No.
So why do we do this?
I think that there is this sort of sense of throwing baby out with bathwater when it comes to leaving religion.
Yeah.
I think that there's this idea that I've left my church, so fuck it all.
Right.
And granted, your church probably didn't offer you a lot. There was a lot of stuff that it offered you that was harmful to you.
Exactly.
There's a lot of crap.
And this list wasn't about that at all.
No.
Yeah.
But that's the point. The point is, why can't we look at the things that were useful? Why can't we look at the thing and be honest with ourselves about it'd be kind of nice to have X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And some of these things we can have.
Yeah.
You know, you can create your own weekly meditation.
Absolutely.
And
you should probably meditate more often than that, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Your own, create space to sit and breathe. I think that's great. You know, we'll never have someone to pray to and feel comforted. But
That's
maybe
depressing, Dan.
But maybe
Why did you say it that way?
Well, because it's true. Because this is about looking at the truth, honestly. But maybe we can come up with, maybe that's a good reason to contemplate what we have instead. And ask ourselves, where does our comfort come from? Because I've found comfort in my life since I left religion.
I've actually, what I've done is I've built this cold, steely wall around me that doesn't need comfort.
That sounds super healthy, Frank.
Yeah, no, it was it was my best way of handling the situation, and it worked.
You take all of the sad and scared feelings and you crumple them up into a tight ball, and then you push them away.
Yeah,
deep down.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
And the rest of your life is just smooth sailing. Let me tell you.
Sage
I don't
words.
get upset about things.
Sage advice from Frank.
Oh, my God.
Because it's all just crumpled down in the singularity of your own seething.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't,
pain.
rear its ugly head at some point.
How would that ever happen?
No, it doesn't.
I can't see
that. It doesn't happen. Well, all right.
Well, thanks for joining us on this little journey of ours.
Should we tell people how they can be in touch?
I think we should.
All right.
I think you can go to Facebook, surely.
You can.
And find us at facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
You could send us an email at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com. Or
what?
Or at podcast@TGIAtheist.
Yeah. Although I'm very grateful that this person has done this, but we don't owe that. So right now, if you send that email to that, it'll get to us. I'm just saying, they're under no obligation to keep that going.
You're absolutely
I'm not
right.
going to publicize that.
Yeah, you're right.
It's very nice of them to have done it. Or you can leave a voicemail, as so many of our good friends have done today, at 424-666-TGIA, which is 424-666
8442.
That.
Remember, if you haven't seen the videos on YouTube yet, you can go there.
Yeah, sure. We might get another thing up at some point.
YouTube.com/TGIAtheist.
We're both in very busy parts of our lives, so
boy howdy.
So we're not putting stuff up right now, but you won't know if we put something new up if you don't go and subscribe.
That's true.
So.
And then, of course, we always like to thank the Red Rock Hot Club for letting us use their music.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We will talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.